friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie, and today I'm going to do a little bit of some of the other things I do, which is, well, probably the main thing I do, which is I do intuitive readings. I do it with tarot, I do it with clairvoyance, I do it with clairaudience. I use all the clairs. I have dreams that come true. I have prophetic dreams. I'm also, I use runes at times to do intuitive readings for myself and for others. But this video, I'm going to talk about the state of things in the United States. I'm going to do one that's kind of political or just something that involves all of us. I thought it was very fitting. I used a deck of cards that I can't show here because of the copyright issues that might come up. So I don't want to show the cards, but they are Diana Cooper's Dragon Oracle, and they're just wonderful and beautiful cards. And I got an amazing and I think very truthful reading about the situation here in the United States. So I've got them laid out beside me, and I'm going to go through what I got, and I use my own layout. It's like a diamond shaped layout. It's like a 5-point layout, and I will kind of explain that as I go along here. But the first card that I got, which was kind of is the basis, when we think about the United States, what is the United States? And to a lot of people, the United States is a lot of things, but there's an interesting concept that people in the metaphysical world have, that they sometimes consider the United States the new Atlantis. And many people think that people who have reincarnated to live in the modern day United States, many of them had lived on the continent, the mythical continent of Atlantis. So it's interesting that the first card that I drew in the position of the basis, like, who are you? What are you? What is the situation? I got the golden Atlantean dragon. Okay. So I agree with it. I think this is who we are to an extent, um, kind of at our core. And we're evidently making I guess, the same mistakes that the Atlanteans made, where we're a very technologically advanced country, but we're not always using these advancements in a positive way. Unfortunately, at least the government isn't. Um, and who knows how bad it really is. We only know what tech they show us. We don't know all the technology that they have, which many people think is decades ahead of what they show us. So the basis is, for the United States, we are the golden Atlantean dragon, and I totally agree with that. We're in a situation where we're blessed with incredible technology and knowledge, and put into a situation of maybe we're not using it the best way, and possibly we could get serious repercussions because of that. And then the next card is in a position of, what are you bringing? What are you bringing with you right now? What qualities do you have, or positions have you been in that you have brought to where you are at this point? And I got the royal blue and gold dragon, which is, again, I think another perfect card to consider the situation the United States is in. When you think of royalty, you think of the most powerful people in the kingdom as the royals. Or when you think of anything that's royal, you think of something that's at the very top, the predominant energy. And the United States has been given that, position, or taken that position for, several lifetimes now. Um, Very quickly after the country was formed, it rose to world dominance. So that's who we've been, and this is what we're bringing with us right now, is this incredible global dominance that we've had. Um, our country's been like the elite of the world in some respects, at least in its ability to affect what goes on around the world. Then the next card in the next position that I have is really interesting to me, and I think it's wonderful, which is what influences are coming in to you from outside of you. Okay, so what is coming to you from the universe? And I got the golden Christed dragon. So to think of what influences are coming in towards you to get the golden Christed dragon, I can't think of anything better than that. And I think what that means is the United States is being flooded with energy from the highest energy sources, from source itself, our creator, to try to influence the United States and the people who have power in the United States to start doing things for the right reasons, to start being motivated by humane and honorable goals instead of greed and power seeking, revenge, um, control of others. So I thought that was a wonderful placement to get. And I do think it's true. I do think we have a lot of this incredibly powerful Christed energy, so to speak, from higher dimensions and densities coming to bear on our country. And it's just up to those who are sensitive to it to pick up on it and to start using this energy for the betterment, of our country and for those around us. And then the next card in the position of what is coming into the future, like what is this going to turn into? And interestingly enough, I got the pure white dragon from Orion, which you can take that a few different ways. This is actually a really beautiful card. I mean, most of her cards are, they're very spiritually, positive. And this card is supposed to be too. It's supposed to be one, it's one of the highest dimensional cards of what we could be, but then you have to kind of think about, I don't want to use the term conspiracy theories because conspiracy theories are a way to, using that term is a way to kind of denigrate whistleblowing and people actually knowing the truth about things and not being willing to accept, official narratives. So I really don't want to use conspiracy theories, but if you get into the UFO, ufology, secret space program, and other, kind of realms of whistleblowing. A lot of people think there is an influence on this nation by non-Terrans from Orion, and they think some of them are negative. So it's interesting to me to draw this card as a future card. So we have this positive Christed energy coming in. Um, the highest energy that you can have. It's the highest energy of enlightenment, love, wisdom, knowledge. And then in the future, what we're, still where we're going, it seems to be this non-Terran influence is as strong as ever, if not stronger. And then in the card of the final outcome, I got the dark blue galactic dragon, which is another really fabulous card of hers. And I just think it speaks for itself. I think it's the dark blue galactic dragon. I think what it's talking about is taking our place amongst non-Earth-based races or places. So obviously the United States is going to make that leap. And and then other countries that are in league with us in this situation, they're going to make that leap into space or into other worlds, I guess, connecting to other worlds, connecting with other beings. But my question is, in what way? Is this pure white dragon from Orion is who has control of this country going to be, you know, non-positive beings from this system? Is that going to continue? Or is this situation going to go higher than that? Are we going to get the actual positive meaning of this card, which is, I'm going to read actually what she says. Um, I don't think that really answers it, but are we going to, avoid the worst that can come out of the Orion factions? And that I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it may be both. It may actually be both happening at the same time. But that's the reading that I got using Diana Cooper's Dragon Oracle, which I thought was really amazing and meaningful. And then I'm going to read some things I got from a little telepathed meditation that I had. Sometimes I get tapped on the shoulder that, you know, my spiritual guides want to tell me something or want me to know something. And honestly, I do a lot of telepathing with a lot of different beings, everything from deceased relatives to non-Terrans to, you know, higher beings energetically, on a higher energetic level. So it's hard for me to know sometimes exactly who I'm talking to, but this is, coming from my higher guides. And they talked about there were big changes coming. And this is interesting that I got this reading the way I did. I got this reading on October 27th, late at night. And I was kind of aggressively told, you need to listen, we need to talk to you. So when that happens, I will sit down and just, kind of be ready to open up and listen to whatever messages I'm getting. And the message that I got was, and I'm reading this, I wrote it down, was there were big changes coming. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, I think a lot of people feel resistance to the change that's coming, but you can't really do anything about it. I got the words solar and wind, and I don't think that means the energy, the alternative energy of solar and wind, although I mean there could be an element of that, but I think there's something going on with the sun, and people are talking about it. Um, and there may be some really hellacious storms happen here. And it is what it is. This planet has violent weather, and there are times when that weather becomes extremely violent in some parts of the world, and these things are going to happen. And I did see a situation where there were a lot of people running in fear from something, some sort of energy or bright light in the sky, almost like the sun. Now, that could mean a lot of things, you know. It could be volcanic eruptions. It could be, the worst kind of solar flash, I guess. I don't know. It could be a directed energy weapon. There's a lot of things that it could be, but I did see people running, a lot of people running. Something was happening that they were very afraid of. Um, I also do feel like volcanic eruptions is a problem, and we could have some loss of life from that or some devastation. And something else that I got, and I keep getting this, and I find it hard to believe. I don't know why I keep getting this, but I do keep getting it, which is, the United States government is going to fall. And when I get this, what does this mean? I mean, when you hear about governments falling in other countries, sometimes it can mean there's a coup. There's literally a change of who's in power, another faction takes over. I'm not sure that's what I'm getting here, but it's like the US government just kind of falls apart, which might not be a bad thing when you consider what's going on with it. Um, I feel like there are things that have been hidden for so long, and they really cannot be hidden any longer. You know, I very clearly heard that the truth will come out. There's nothing that you can't stop the truth from coming out. Donald Trump can't stop the truth from coming out. The people in Congress can't stop it. The intelligence communities can't stop it. There are certain things that are going to come out, and maybe this will, have some serious ramifications regarding our US government. And also, the banking system came in. There may be a collapse of the banking system, which would certainly affect our government and a lot of governments around the planet. Um, and maybe this is an engineered banking collapse. Maybe this is what they want. I don't know. But it's something's really big going to happen. And I do feel like, again, some serious weather issues, and this isn't unusual, but it may be some really big, devastating things. And it's just not avoidable. These things aren't, I mean, we can all pray for people's protection, and that's a positive thing to do. And hopefully the outcomes won't be as severe as they could be, if people are raising their voices in prayer. But these are just the messages I got. And when you hear about all these things, it sounds like it's all negative. Um, But for a long time, I've gotten a lot of messages that things would have to get a lot worse before they get better. It's just almost the necessary evil of it is things kind of have to fall apart and crash, and things have to get ugly before it can be cleaned up and things can get better. So I don't think we should be afraid of it. We're all here playing the roles that we play. We're here because most of us are here because we want to be here. I think we're all here because we wanted to be here at this time to help, to make things better. So rather than getting upset about these things, just try to figure out how you can protect yourself, try to get out of debt if you can, pay off cards, make sure you have a safe place to live. Make sure you have prepped with food and these things if you can. But even more important than all that, make sure you have a network of people that you trust that can help you if you need help. If you run out of something, these people will provide it for you, or if you need transportation, these kind of things. I think that's the most important thing. If you're someone who tends to be really solitary, try to reach out and try to make connections with more people, in friendship, and try to develop a community for yourself. Because, this may be the most important thing you can have in the future. So anyway, that is some of the readings that I've gotten recently, and I thought I would share it. Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please give me a like and subscribe, and I will be doing more videos like this in the future. Thank you.